is exploring the complexities of love, friendship, and family amidst the backdrop of a politically divided nation.
Timely book, right? So Emily Locker's book, which is right here, it's called Running Mates, follows two teenagers from opposite sides of the political spectrum. Emily joins us to continue the conversation this morning. Emily, so nice to have you with us on the show today, and congrats on the book.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
Excited to have you. So this really is more than a love story. So what inspired you to write this, especially during the times that we're in right now?
Yes, well, I found inspiration in a very unlikely place. I was moving back to Washington, D.C. I am born and raised in D.C., but I had been in New York for 16 years. And we came back with my two young sons and husband, and it was in my son's nursery school class. This is a very Washingtonian story. In a 15-kid class, we had Mike Pence's old speechwriter and President Obama's speechwriter. And at first I was like, how is this going to work? This seems very awkward. But by the end of the year, through, birthday parties and parent gatherings and family events, everyone got along so well. And, it really made you realize that we are all here as parents. We chose the same nursery school. We're all raising kids in D.C., and we have so much in common. And when you take politics out of it, people really can get along and really find common ground.
It sounds so interesting, and what a place to find inspiration from. Let's talk about the protagonists in the book. They're from two very different worlds, and they meet at a time when acceptance and understanding seem to be in short supply. Can you talk about how alike they are despite their opposing views?
Yes, so the two main characters are Anna and Gabe, and Anna is very liberal. She has two moms. One of her moms is a Rachel Maddow-like liberal TV news pundit, and Gabe is the son of a Republican senator. He's a lacrosse bro, super conservative, and they have known each other for a long time, but had wanted nothing to do with each other. And they end up on the same running team. And through that, they fall in love. First, Anna admires his muscles, but then she admires much more. And they find they do have a lot in common. They are very tied to their families, to their friends, and they're very sports driven. And through that, they really, find this wonderful romance between them. But there's a lot of obstacles on the way to the happy ending.
What I thought was very fitting, too, is on the cover there, you obviously see one person dressed up all in blue, and then the other person dressed up all in red, which obviously hits with that political divide that we're in. I wanted to ask you, how does your work as a therapist influence your writing?
I think being a therapist is such a great tool to be an author, because I get to hear people's inner worlds all day, their anxieties, their fears, their true wishes. And, most of the time we don't hear that. And that really allowed me to delve in deep to these characters, especially these teenage characters.
And one of the major takeaways from your novel, and something else that's touched on in, I'm sure, your work as a therapist, is practicing empathy. So how can empathy serve as a tool to bridge political divides?
Yeah, this I think is so interesting. What we try to teach in therapy, a mark of mental health, what I definitely want my own children to understand is the mark of being a thoughtful person is understanding multiple points of views, is being a nuanced thinker, is letting new information change our minds, and having not a fixed idea, but changing ideas. And politics is the opposite. We're told to believe one thing or the other, left or right. And I think that really interferes with empathy. So empathy is really just understanding someone else's viewpoint. It does not mean you have to agree with it. And if we can focus on that, I think, that will really open conversation and not have it be as hostile and divisive as it is right now.
Emily, we talked about the importance of the timing of your book, too. Obviously, we have a big presidential election coming up in November, a lot of big developments just in the past week and a half. Do you have any tips on how to engage in a productive conversation without damaging those relationships that you have with people?
Yes, and I had this even last year. My college kids' patients were coming home to Thanksgiving, and that was a very fraught time. And what I said to them, which I think is really important advice, is when you want to be close to people, you do need to have these difficult conversations, but we need to have them with boundaries. So setting a time limit, 30 minutes, and then we're going to move on. Not having them while we're drinking. That's a terrible idea. No empathy comes from drinking, I can tell you that much. And, really being comfortable with, we're trying to understand someone we care about, but it's okay. If it's too overwhelming, we can say, I can't talk about this right now. And you can end the conversation, but not end the relationship. So really about boundaries and shared upon agreements about how long the conversation is going to be and what happens if someone can't be in that conversation anymore. We still want to be able to have a relationship, even if we can't have that conversation.
Good advice. I know a lot of dinner table debates are ahead of us, I'm sure, in the next coming months. Thank you so much for coming on the show, and congratulations on your book. We're looking forward to reading it.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
It is such an important message.
It really is.
Particularly at this time that we're in, gearing up for that big election in November. I mean, you hope that despite all the differences that people have with each other, that you can maybe find common ground, or at least an understanding of why they feel what they feel, and have that empathy and be willing to have that, you know, open and real conversation, but do it in a respectful manner. Being
open-minded, being respectful, practicing empathy, all good pieces of advice. Like I mentioned, dinner time debates, I mean, they are ahead of us if they're not already happening. You have disagreements with family members, friends, just a simple scroll through Facebook comments. You see people just going head to head because they don't agree. But in the grand scheme of things, it's find common ground and practice that kindness.
That is right. All right, one more reminder. The book is called Running Mates. It's a novel by Emily Locker, so check it out if you're interested.
Sounds like something that could be turned into a movie, right?
I think so, yes. Maybe in 2028.
Right.
Yeah, now that the book is out, maybe it'll be turning into a movie in 2028. All right.